All right, so quick question. Have you been getting your client or prospect saying to you, I want to think about it? And let me guess, once they say, I want to think about it, you say something like, oh, yes, Mr. Danny or Mr. whatever your name is, I appreciate that you need to think about it. So I'll give you some time and I'll get back to you later. And guess what happened? You start the chase, you call them, and then you hypocritically put in your books that you're following up, right? And you could follow up this same person for a very, very long time. And you keep going at it because you feel you just need to follow up this client, right? And sometimes smart people will end up. So in this video, quick 15 minutes video, I want to share with you how you too can hypnotically get past that very objection with your prospect and get an instant yes or no without being a pushy, sleazy sales guy, right? Like I used to be before. So let's get started. My goal by the end of this video is you will know exactly what to say to prospects who say to you, I want to think about it, and to get more sales. So who am I? My name is Andrew Achiga, and I'm the creator of Brand to Sell and Brand Profits Academy and financial protection specialist at the moment. That is my actual business. Yes, I do have a business apart from this. So I am in the trenches, actually speaking to clients, communicating on a daily basis. So I have tested these systems and they work, and they've been working for me for years. Right, I'm a team manager for one of UK's largest growing insurance intermediary, and husband and a father of two. I'm a musician in church. I love playing my music, and I'm a UK-based business person. I have my offices right here in Dartford, where I'm actually doing this video from. I'm a 2 times Hudson Awards winner in the company I'm in. Now, basically, what that means is that I have a lot of clients, and none of my clients cancel, or I have very minimal cancellation in the industry we're in, which means I have I know how to get clients and close clients, and at the same time I know how to keep them. Right, at the moment, working at the top 5 sales leaders in the team with over 180 plus clients that I'm actually dealing with, which were acquired over 2 years. So if you stay to the end, I promise to share with you my newest sales program that will double your sales and get you more clients. Yes, I mean double your sales, because I've been using this system, and ever since I switched, things have changed. And how you too can get it completely free of charge. I'm not charging anything for it, because I really want you to start using the system, and then once you can use the system and it works for you, I know we can build a good relationship together. So let's get started. So what does that really mean? Are they really going to think about it? When your clients or prospect says, I want to think about it, Andy, give me some time, I need to think about it, or I want to think about it, right? Are they really going to think about it or not? A lot of people make the mistakes of accepting this excuse as a maybe, right? So some people are smart enough to say, oh, maybe. If you're new, somebody might tell you, I want to think about it. And you say, oh, yes, go think about it. In your head, you're thinking is a yes. They just want to think about it. And then you start the chase, right? But if you've been around for a long while, let me go think about it actually means a maybe, right? And you know what? In selling, there are no maybes. It's either a yes or a no. So do you want the truth, the real truth, one that does not require you to memorize any scripts whatsoever? And the truth be told, I don't like scripts myself, right? Scripts make you sound robotic. I hate them, right? And save yourself tons of time and energy. Now, stay tuned for the next 8 to 10 minutes, and I'll show you how you too can do that. Now, what if I said to you, the reason why your prospects say that it is because they don't trust you? Well, at least not yet, right? See, sometimes they want to get as far away from you as possible, and you could feel it. You talk to the client, you speak to them, and it gets to the point where you're asking for the business and they want to run away from you, right? And it's not your fault. Sometimes I've seen people, some of my coaching clients, blame themselves. I'm not good enough, It has nothing to do with you at all. They don't hate you. It's simple. It's human nature, right? We simply have been trained not to trust that easily, and it's not our fault too. We've had, crazy people taking advantage of us, so we learn as time moves on, right? And of course, we have certain natures that easily trust. Now, there's always an exception to the rule, right? So all this is natural. It's completely natural. Now, think about the last time that you told somebody you wanted to think about something, right? And this is what happened. So back to the question, do they really think about it? And I'm sure you know the answer, right? You just maybe don't want to accept that. But the truth is, They don't. They don't go to think about it, right? Life is way too busy for that. They're thinking about their children, things coming away. They have to deal with the wife, the husband, the fiance. They have to deal with their jobs and their bosses. And in today's time, they have to deal with all the noise that is coming and the distraction that is coming their way as well. So what do they really mean when they say, I want to think about it? Now, to me, it's either of two things. Number one, they're not interested. Or number two, they're interested, but they have some concerns, right? So is it one, they're not interested, or two, they have some concerns and they want to think about it, right? And how do we know what's on their mind? We're not psychics. We can't open their brain to know either is a one or two. So how do we know? Simple. We ask them politely, that is, right? We say something like, hey, Danny, when someone says to me that they want to think about it, it's either of two things. It's either they're not interested or are interested and they have a few concerns and they're not sure about something. Which is it for you, right? And I actually learned this last bit, which is it for you, from a training I went, because it allows the client or the prospect to actually voice out their concern and say to you what they need. Once you say which is it for you, they have to make a choice and they have to tell you what is it that is bothering them. So if they say they are not interested, forget it. Thank them. Thank you very much and move on. Don't try and convince them. Don't try and say my company is the best. And do not try to do that. Trying to convince someone who is not interested is purely a waste of time, right? Ever heard the saying, backing up the wrong tree? Now, this is what happens when you're trying to convince somebody, because they have actually created a block mentally that they're not interested. There's not much you can say. Now, you can try that, but what if they are interested? What if they are interested, but they have concerns? Then what? What do you do next? Well, it's either three things. If they're interested and they have concerns, it's either three concerns, always around these three concerns, right? Either the product's not a good fit for them, they don't see enough benefit from the functions of what you're selling, or the cost is out of their comfort zone and they can't. And I love number three, because if I find somebody who can't afford it, I leave it. Again, you cut your losses and you move on until they're ready to afford that. Okay. So how do we know which is it? Again, it's simple. We ask, right? We use the same formula as before. So let me give you an example. Hello, Mr. Danny, or Mr. Danny says, I want to think about it. First of all, we thank Danny very well. Say, Danny, I appreciate you for being honest with me and thank you so much for spending some time with me. However, normally people have concerns. When you say you have concerns, it's either of three things. Number one, maybe the product is not a good fit for you. You like the look of the product, you like the feel of it, but it probably, your thinking is probably doesn't fit into your life very well. Okay. Or number two, the product is a good fit, right? It's a great fit. You can find it usable in your life. However, there are some functions on there that you want that probably aren't there. Maybe you want some extras on it that you can't find. Or if it's not that, then it's probably the issue that maybe it's too expensive for you or you're not ready to make that kind of financial commitment. Which one is it? Right? And then you wait for them to give you an answer. Now, bear in mind what I'm doing. Every time you ask a question, shut up. Don't interrupt the prospect or the client. Let them tell you. Sometimes I could sit in a meeting with a client and I ask a question and I go quiet and it goes a minute and it's very uncomfortable. A minute of silence is extremely uncomfortable and I'm still waiting because I've asked a question and I'm expecting you to give me an answer. I'm not going to go rumble on. See, these are some of the mistakes that a lot of people make, right? So what do you do after you've uncovered their concern? Maybe they tell you, my concern is that it's not a good fit. What do you do, right? The answer is very simple. We ask questions. More questions. You ask the right questions. Why? Questions brings answers. You'll be amazed the kind of things clients and prospects will tell you if you ask the right question. It's not just any question. The right questions asked the right way. Okay? So it took me years to understand this. And once I did, my confidence went up 100%. I became more confident in my conversation with clients because I knew for a fact that if the guy was not interested, they would tell me. I'm not going to do that uncomfortable follow-up that a lot of people do these days. And so did my sales as well. As my confidence went up, my sales went up. And you would agree, that to learn any valuable skill, it cannot be delivered in a 15 minutes presentation like this one. Okay, it took me a few years to understand what actually is happening in a client's mind and how to communicate with them, and without being like a salesperson. So my clients really don't see me as a salesperson. Usually 99.9% of them see me as a friend or somebody they can trust, or they see me as an advisor, or they see me something more than, because that's what I am. That's the way I look at myself. So to learn that kind of skill is not going to be in a 15 minutes presentation. It's a bit much like giving you a haircut on this video. Like I'm trying to give you a haircut. It's nearly impossible. It's quite impossible to that, right? So if you knew, that's why I created the Brand to Sell 3.0 for anyone looking to increase their sales and income without being a pushy, sleazy sales guy, marketer, or an expert. Okay, now trust me. The truth is, once you understand, you will know what I really mean. And that's why we have Brand to Sell 3.0. Now, if you don't know about Brand to Sell 3.0, it's been a coaching program I've been working with a select group of people over the past 2 to 3 years. And we pick a few people and we work with them and we fine tune our system over the years. And we use it ourselves in our team and my team members. That's exactly the same system that we use. So I will be sharing my 5-step system to gain more control in your conversations, your sales conversations. Because let's face it, if you don't have control in your conversations, you will lose every time to somebody else. Okay. And so you need to gain control, and control doesn't mean aggression. Control means intelligibly having a conversation that is definitely going to give you a definite answer without wasting precious times on follow-ups. And back in the day, I used to follow up a lot. Like, you should see my follow-up book. There was a whole bunch of people in there and I'll keep following up. And for me, I have built the skill of following up, and I could follow up somebody for 2 years. It's not a problem for me, right? However, I find that not a lot of people can do that. And besides the fact that not a lot of people can do that, it can also be time consuming to follow one client for 2 years. You have to be very determined and very good at what you do to be able to keep up that conversation going for a very long time. And so that's why I'm giving you the opportunity to come in. And if you want to learn how to do these things, I am not charging anything at all. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that you can learn and find out the system works. Once you know it works, I know we can have a good relationship moving forward. Okay, so visit 5steps.andyachugga.com, or simply, if you're on Facebook or if you're on social media, just comment on the comments below. Leave a comment and I'll be in touch with you, or somebody will be in touch with you, and we can take the conversation further. Again, thank you so much for watching this quick video. I hope you go use these strategies, because I know it would definitely change your conversations. It will change your sales. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you live. God bless you. Have fun. Bye. All right.